the friend, because there's reasons why that was. It had to do with the insurance claim on the house that was pending. But there is debate about whether or not the delay in switching the deed to the friend's name was somehow dishonest or misleading to the friend or had been misled. That's up in the air. So if we're only looking at the Barney property for the purpose of this property profit analysis, I don't have a problem with that. If we're going to get into all of the representations that were made about the property, whether or not there was, I don't even think they're saying there was fraud, but whether there was dishonesty or any of that, then I want to have a 404B analysis. So I guess I'm just alerting everybody that this was one of the issues in my motion in limine. This was one of the issues the court said you'd probably have to hear foundation for at trial.
No, I ruled on this one specifically, but that's fine. We can raise it again.
Right. So I guess I'm just, as an abundance of caution before the jury comes back in, if we're going to get into all of that, I want to have a 404B analysis. If we're not, then I don't mind for purposes of just whether did you make a profit or loss on the property. That is irrelevant to me. I don't care about that.
Mr. Bloodworth, tell me where the state's headed with respect to the Barney property.
Your Honor, it is beyond that column of profit and loss analysis. It will go into the $45,000 down payment that Ms. Barney made on the property, tracing those funds to pay, I think it was Fund 5, payday lender.
Put differently, to pay something other than the hard money loan on the property.
Correct.
Okay. And then it eventually went into foreclosure.
It did eventually go into foreclosure. We may get there. I don't know that we will get there.
Okay. Any other detail regarding the Barney property that you tend to visit?
Yes, Your Honor. So initially the Barney property was financed by a more traditional mortgage lender. In getting financing on the Barney property in June of 2021, KouriRichins submitted a bank statement to the lender, purportedly from AFCU, showing a certain balance. Her bank statement from AFCU shows a different balance. C&E's bank statement from AFCU shows that first certain balance. And so it would be an exercise in admitting those 3 bank statements and moving on. I think that is consistent with the court's ruling. The other issue that may arise is there was an email from that hard money lender questioning Ms. Richins about her credit score in comparison to the available cash in the purported bank statement. And then in response, KouriRichins provides an explanation of her credit score.
Just for fair use, we have to stop every once in a while. Just wanted to remind you guys that I'm showing this live on Twitch and on Kick, which is my first time to stream on both of those at the same time. I'm just making sure everything works. The Texas Supreme Court show that we planned on doing at 9:00 a.m., they are still not live. So I don't know if they're having problems over at the Texas Supreme Court today, but they had 2 different hearings or 3 different hearings scheduled. As soon as they do become live, we're going to switch over to the Texas Supreme Court. I'm just showing KouriRichins right now while we wait for them to actually fix whatever their problem is over at the Texas Supreme Court. So here we go. Thank you for joining me. I always appreciate it and love seeing new people in my chat.
Or that is relevant because, well, the inquiry is relevant because the lender had noticed a disconnect between her balance and her credit score. KouriRichins'
Because
response
somebody
is
was telling a
relevant
lie.
because she had a very different response to a different lender in response to a similar question.
Okay, so Ms. Nestor, I think it would be appropriate to give the jury a 404B instruction to the following effect, and we can have a conversation about the details here, but something to the effect of, you are about to hear evidence that defendant's representations to her lenders were not accurate before the acts charged in this case. This evidence is not admitted to prove a character trait of the defendant or to show that she acted in a manner consistent with that trait. You may consider this evidence, if at all, for the limited purpose of determining a non-character issue such as motive. Keep in mind that the defendant is on trial for the crimes charged in this case only. You may not convict the defendant simply because you believe she may have committed some other acts at some other time.
Your Honor, could you please read that very first part where you said it was, you're about to hear, what was that?
Evidence that defendant's representations to lenders were not accurate before the acts charged in this case.
Okay, it's not just lenders though. It's also her statements to Ms. Barney, who was her
I don't know
tenant.
that we're going to get into evidence of that, are we?
So
I can add that to the list. That's fine. But it wasn't clear to me that the back and forth between
The lenders and others, because part of this
Fine.
is in an email to her,
okay,
to a banker. It's not, I mean, through her,
lenders and others is not a problem.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I am so a visual person. May I just look at it? What you have in your hand?
It's CR 411. It is the standard Muji second 404B
No, just the very
instruction.
first part, the part that you wrote.
Representation.
Okay. Apparently there's some problem with the feed right this minute. We're going to go ahead and read our fair use statement, as we do with every live broadcast we do, to protect ourselves in the copyright world. So this broadcast may contain excerpts of audio, video, and documents of other materials originating from third-party sources, including court proceedings, filings, public records, and media reports. Such materials are presented solely for the purposes of commentary, criticism, analysis, education, and reporting on matters of public concern. Pursuant to Section 107 of the United States Copyright Act, this constitutes a lawful fair use. No ownership is claimed over any copyrighted content, and all rights remain with their respective copyright holders. The use herein and transformative in nature, incorporating independent analysis, contextual explanation, and critical discussion. Additionally, all individuals discussed in this broadcast are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. Any allegations referenced remain unproven unless adjudicated by competent court. Information presented is based on publicly available records and is offered strictly for commentary and analysis. Nothing stated in this broadcast should be interpreted as factual determination, legal conclusion, or an assertion of guilt. There we go. We've done our fair use. Let's get back to the trial. Thank you so much. There's something wrong with the feed right now. It's having a little bit of a problem. So it's kind of like going in and out. Yeah, I don't know why. Let me see if we can go out and come back in if it'll fix it. Hang on just a second, guys. Let's see.
I need to see this.
There we go.
KouriRichins provides.
And this is going to be crime talk. Well,
when
I don't
that
want to do
doesn't
crime
get to-
talk. I want to go and do an actual, like a news station. I want to do theirs, not just somebody else's, YouTube. That's not really fair. So here we go. This is going to be, let's see. I want to find somebody's news. I don't want to use somebody's live stream. We're going to go find a news station. Okay, hang on, guys. Here we go. This is Surviving Survivor. That is Criminally Obsessed. I'm going to go find a Squirt TV, Recovery Addict, Crime Talk. No, KSL. I'm going to do KSLU News Utah. KSL News Utah. Okay.
And in 2 written rulings by the court, both on defendants' motions in limine and the court's amended ruling regarding intrinsic evidence. Defendant's 404B objection to the admissibility and defendant's objection to the admissibility of this evidence under rules 401, 02, and 03 are overruled for the reasons discussed on the record previously.
Yeah, the judges discussed this prior
extensively by the court.
Probably not happy to come to discuss it again.
The issue before the court today is the form of a 404B instruction to be given before the evidence comes in. I think we've arrived at that form, correct, Ms. Nestor?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bloodworth, any addition there?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything else before we invite the jury?
No, Your Honor.
Woo.
Ms. Nestor.
Let me see if
Yes,
this
sir.
is still
Okay.
showing over there correctly on Kick
We're ready
and
for
Twitch.
it.
Can't believe I've never done this before. I hope it remembers me. Okay. I thought I'd saved it over on my, I think it's over here. I also need to text back to the Texas Supreme Court, make sure they're not going yet, which is what we planned on doing today. And this is actually KSL News Utah. Credits. Okay, get that fixed. There we go. Now, check this over here. Wow, I cannot believe they're not going yet. That's crazy. They are 2 hours late. The Texas Supreme Court is 2 hours late. Unbelievable. I'm shocked by that. Oh, they're logged in, I guess.
Please have a seat as you come in. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Please have a seat. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, in additional instruction, please listen carefully. You are about to hear evidence that defendants' representations to lenders and other individuals and entities were not accurate during the time before the acts charged in this case. This evidence is not admitted to prove a character trait of the defendant or to show that she acted in a manner consistent with that trait. You may consider this evidence, if at all, for the limited purpose of determining defendant's motive. Keep in mind that the defendant is on trial for the crimes charged in this case and for those crimes only. You may not convict the defendant simply because you believe she may have committed some other acts at some other time. Mr. Bloodworth, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, when we left off, we had highlighted the column labeled 299/Barney. Do you recall that?
Yes.
What does 299/Barney refer to?
There's a house. The address starts with 299, and it's a house where KouriRichins' best friend, Chelsea Barney, lived. So that's my abbreviation of that house.
And did you analyze that purchase transaction?
I did.
Are you familiar with Iron Bridge Financial?
Yes.
What is Iron Bridge?
They are a hard money lender, and they are the lender that KouriRichins engaged for this particular property purchase.
What, ma'am, is a hard money lender?
Expensive. That's what that is.
Hard money lenders are typically it's called hard money because the terms are hard and they're hard. The interest rates are higher than conventional loans, like from a bank or a credit union. Typically, they also have very strict default clauses.
I know it's
They're usually used for shorter term lending. So there will be like a specific term, usually 6 months or 12 or something. And the terms are defined at a certain interest rate. And then upon default, it's an exponential growth. You know, the default, or excuse me, the interest rate quite often will double or other terms.
Okay.
And do fix and flip?
You know, for fair use, we have to stop every once in a while and talk about it. Let me explain to you what a hard lender really is in layman's terms so that everybody understands. My husband is a banker, so we've been in business a long time. When it has to do with money, we can answer these questions. Hard money lenders provide short-term, asset-based loans secured by real estate. They're typically used by investors for fast-paced fix and flip construction projects. Unlike a bank, these private lenders focus on the property's value, often using after repair value versus a standard appraisal. Okay, so rather than they're using the after repair value instead of somebody's credit scores. Common in Texas, these loans offer quick funding, in days, but come with higher interest rates, often 7.5 all the way to 15%, and shorter terms, usually regarding 20 to 30% down payments. How they work. This is how hard money works. Loans are secured by the asset itself rather than the borrower's income, often closing within 3 to 7 days. That's extremely fast. The requirements. Lenders primarily look at the property value, typically lending between 65 to 80% of the value, and the borrower's experience and the equity in the situation. The typical terms are 12 to 24 months, often with interest-only payments. So that's for flipping. It's basically for flipping properties. The down payment usually requires 20 to 30% down, and some lenders may fund up to 95% of the purchase price. Now, here's the risk. Hard money is high risk rates. They're high rates because it's hard risk. It's a high risk, plus the risk of foreclosure if the project fails or is not paid back. Okay, the maximum loan amount can range anywhere from $100,000 to $5 million, depending on the lender. So typically, if you're not an investor, stay away from hard money. Okay, it's dangerous. Hard money lending is dangerous. And just like right here, she's fixing to explain that the information she provided on her hard money loan, she lied about it. And it's so easy to do because she had the money she needed for the down payment. So she just pretty much said what anything she needed to say to just
businesses often use hard money lenders.
They do.
Did KouriRichins apply to Iron Bridge for a loan secured by the Barney home?
Yes.
Did you review materials in Iron Bridge's loan file? Scott, can I
She's
get
been a liar a long time.
5-57, please? Ma'am, do you recognize this document?
I do.
What is it?
This is an America First Credit Union bank account statement for KouriRichins Realty. The account 6577, May of 2021, and this was directly from Iron Bridge in response to a subpoena from the prosecution.
Thank you, ma'am. Your Honor, the state moves to admit 5-7.
Previous objections, Your Honor.
5-57 is admitted.
Scott, if you could kind of zoom in on the top portion. Yep. Ms. Carrington, what information does this provide?
So as I said, there's the header, KouriRichins Realty LLC.
In other words, hard money is for suckers. Remember that. And she did lie to them, which is another, I mean, that's a federal charge right there. But here we go.
The account number is 6577 and the statement of May 2021. And then,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
sorry. And then in the summary section, you can see that there's 3 different accounts that are reported on this statement, and collectively at month end, the balance was $210,898.
Did you attempt to verify this bank statement?
I did.
Scott, can I have 5-29 alpha?
Oh, she's a scammer. She's a scammer. She scammed.
Okay.
Can you see it?
I do now. Sorry. Ma'am, do you recognize this document?
I do.
What is it?
It is the America First Credit Union statement for KouriRichins Realty from America First for the account number 6577 for May of 2021. And this was directly from the credit union pursuant to a prosecution subpoena.
Your Honor, the state moves to admit 529A.
Same objections.
529
Yes, they are.
is admitted.
Of course, they're going to object to that.
Published now.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Scott, if you can zoom in. Ma'am, what does this present?
This shows in the header, the KouriRichins Realty LLC. This time it's using that PO Box 759 in Camas. This is for the account number 6577, and this is the May of 2021 statement.
And what does it show as the balance?
It shows 2 accounts, not 3, and the total at month end is $15,609.93.
Thank you, Scott. If you can swoop to 5-32B.
Let me get this to work over here. Let me see.
Ma'am, do you recognize this document?
I do.
What is it?
This is the America First Credit Union statement for C&D Stone Masonry, which is Eric Richens' account company. And this is the May of 2021 statement that came directly from the credit union in response to a prosecution subpoena.
The state moves to admit 5-32B, Your Honor.
Same objection.
5-32B is admitted.
And what, ma'am, does this present?
So in the header, we can see the company is C&E Stone Masonry LLC, which is Eric Richens and his business partner's company, and their account is 7664, and this is the account statement for May of 2021.
And what is the ending balance?
The ending balance of those 3 accounts is $210,898.61.
Is it accurate then that The statement provided by the lender Ironbridge contained the header of KouriRichins Realty and the account summary for C&E Stonemasonry.
That's right. And also the body of the transactions.
Scott, can I get exhibit 2-6, please? Ma'am, do you recognize this document?
I do.
What is it?
It's an email string between Ironbridge and KouriRichins. And this was from Ironbridge in response to a subpoena from the prosecution.
Your Honor, the state moves 2-6 into evidence.
Same objection plus hearsay, Your Honor.
Let's see. Do we need the top half? Can we focus just on Corey's? I'm sorry, let me restate my question. Do you care about the before and after or just Corey's statement?
Your Honor, the email was bottom up.
Right.
The state needs to admit the bottom to understand Ms. Rickens, the effect here being
Okay.
Ms. Rickens. We can redact that first line. I think it doesn't matter either way to the state.
Section 2, instructing the jury that they not consider any of these statements or those written by Ms. Rickens for the truth.
No objection to that instruction.
Ms. Nestor.
Not to the instruction, but remain objection to the entire document.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're about to see Ms. Rickens' portion of the email string. You may consider, for any purpose, to whatever extent you the other portions of the email string, you may consider only for the effect they had upon Ms. Rickens, upon the listener, not for the truth of any matter asserted in those other portions. Publish 2-6.
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Brittany, in case I didn't say 2-6 is admitted.
Scott, if you could scroll down to the bottom and enlarge that, please. Yes. And then Scott, if you can scroll up to Ms. Rickens' reply, please. Thank you, Scott. Ms. Carrington, did you analyze whether all of KouriRichins' credit card delinquencies were paid off in July of 2021?
I did.
Were they?
No.
Whoa, caught lying.
Scott, can I get 5-21?
Corey.
Ma'am, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
What is it?
It's the promissory note between.
So she lied on her application. That's been proved. That is going to be a federal charge. So really, I have a song for her. I wish I could sing, but I really cannot sing because my song's going to be that she's 3 times a scammer, 3 times a lie, 3 times the story with tears in your eyes. Oh, 3 times a scammer that money can buy. You said forever, but forever was just a disguise because she's, 3 times the scammer, 3 times the lie, 3 times the heartbreak, dressed up in white. Oh, 3 times the scammer under courtroom lights. Now the truth is calling in the middle of the night. Yes, KouriRichins is a scammer, and that should be a federal charge. Here we go.
KouriRichins and KouriRichins Realty and Iron Bridge for the purchase of this house.
Your Honor, the state moves to admit 5-21.
Same objections.
5-21 is admitted.
Boy, oh boy.
Scott Wright, if you can zoom in, please, on that top portion. Ms. Carrington, what information does this provide?
Well, starting with the top on the right is it's called a bait stamp number. That's something that's applied after the fact. So that tells me that this came from Iron Bridge. This is then the secured promissory note between KouriRichins Realty and Iron Bridge, and the loan amount where it says principal amount is $346,500 at a 10% interest rate. And it also tells me that this is a note that matures, means it's due on January 8th of 2022.
For context, ma'am, what at this time were traditional mortgage interest rates?
They were at those historic lows, 2.5%, 3.5% for a 30-year mortgage.
And did this loan involve a balloon payment?
It did.
So am I right then that for the 6 months term of the 6-month term of the loan, KouriRichins did not owe any money?
This one, it was a balloon, but this one did require monthly payments.
But then everything was due on January the 8th, 2022.
That's correct. So it was started in the summer, and she had the monthly payments on it, and then she had to either refinance or pay it off by January 8th of 2022.
Thank you, Scott. Did KouriRichins endeavor to refinance?
Yes, she did.
And did she use Excel Financial Services to try to refinance that loan?
Yes, she did.
Scott, can I get Exhibit 5-60, please? Ma'am, do you recognize this document?
I do.
What is it?
It's the America First bank account statement for KouriRichins, her personal checking 5244 for July of 2021. And this is from Excel Financial and its principal, David Ige, in response to a prosecution subpoena.
The state, Your Honor, moves 5-60 into evidence.
Same objections.
5-60 is admitted.
Scott, can you blow it up?
I mean, this is kind of like the Murdaugh trial. Whenever that the loan and this house really has nothing to do with what she did to her husband, but I mean, she is known to falsify records and lie and manipulate things to get her way. That is what this is really all about.
Real quick, Ms. Carrington, we're going to go through this a few times, but real quick.
This is America First bank account statement for KouriRichins, her personal account 5244, July of 2021. And then the 3 accounts in the summary section shows that she had $694,730.15 at the month end.
Did you attempt to verify this bank statement?
I did.
5-35A, please, Scott. Ma'am, do you recognize this?
Yes.
What is it?
This is directly from America First Credit Union for KouriRichins, her personal account 5244 in August of 2021 in response to a prosecution subpoena.
State moves to admit 5-35A.
Same objections.
5-35A is admitted.
Can't wait for the appeal on this one.
Scott, if you could enlarge it, please.
I wonder what it says. Let's see.
It's enlarged.
Oh,
Probably gonna say no, she didn't have that much
doubly
money.
enlarged. Ma'am,
It
what
looks
does
like
this
it's only about
present?
$1,000. Is that what I'm seeing?
That this is KouriRichins' account using that PO Box 759, the account number 5244, which is that personal checking account, August of 2021. And the total of the two accounts is $1,893.94 at the end of the month.
Scott, can you bring?
She stated she had $698,000. That's what she provided in documentation. But she actually only had about, what, $1,800 or $1,900? That's a huge lie. Here we go. Wow.
Up 5-32.
What a liar.
Please. Ma'am, do you recognize this?
Yes.
What is it?
It is the American First Credit Union account for C&E Stonemasonry, the account 7664, January of 2021, that came directly from the credit union in response to a prosecution subpoena.
Your Honor, the statement was 532A into evidence.
Same objections.
5-32A is admitted.
Ma'am, what does this present?
So this is from the credit union, C&D Stonemasonry's account 7664 in January of 2021. And there are three accounts collectively at month end, $694,730.15.
Thank you, Scott.
Can you
Can you please
imagine?
bring up Exhibit 2-7, please? Ma'am, do you recognize this document?
I do.
What is it?
This is a document in response to the subpoena from Excel Financial Services and its principal, David Ige, in response to a prosecution subpoena.
Mm-hmm. Wonder how
Your
much is
Honor,
in
the
that
state
account.
moves Exhibit 2-7 into evidence.
Same objections, Your Honor.
Would you approach for?
All right. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. That people are like shocked. Oh my God, she lies a lot, you know? I don't know why I can't get back in there now. That just sucks. I don't know. Okay. Well, let's see. What time is it? It's 12:20. I can only let this go a little bit longer, and then I've got to go finish getting some things done. I just wanted to show this, do a live stream on Kick and Twitch at the same time. So that's why I'm running this part of the live stream. Let me see if Texas has ever logged back, if they ever got online this morning for Supreme Court. I'll check that right quick. Here we go. I can't imagine. It's so hard for me to believe that they did not appear for their court hearing. Still, 14 people are still waiting for the Texas Supreme Court to go live, and they are not live yet.
Moving
So
to
something
admit
took place.
2-7.
Yes, Your Honor.
Unbelievable.
States 2-7 is admitted. One moment, please.
Ma'am, I'm sorry again. Was this information that came from Excel Financial Services and its principal, David Ige?
Yes.
Scott, if you could enlarge the bio portion of,
Uh-oh.
thank you.
That's going to be another falsified document. This is a federal charge that she should be charged federally for. It's bank fraud. To be honest with you, it's bank fraud. Mm-hmm. Well, Corey likes to do a little bank fraud, huh? Damn, girl.
Ms. Carrington, did you analyze KouriRichins' finances to determine if she employed anyone, and if so, how many employees she had?
Yes.
How many employees did she have?
I don't know how many employees, but the payroll expenses that appear in her bank account statements are in the neighborhood of like $1,500 or $2,500. They're not consistent. So I don't know how many, but it's a very low number.
When you say her payroll expenses are, what did you say,
What do you mean
1,500?
by that, right?
Some of them are
Yeah.
$1,500 or in the neighborhood of $2,000 or $2,500. They're not consistent.
Okay. And is it called 1,500 to 2,500 weekly, biweekly, monthly?
No, they're occasional, they're periodic, and nothing that would rise to the level of paying. I don't think paying.
In other
over
words, she
100
has no
people.
payroll.
Would it
That's what
rise
I'm
to the
getting
level
out
of
of it.
paying over 3 people?
Depends on how much they're making.
In your analysis, did you find any evidence that KouriRichins profited $1 million on any 5 of her deals combined?
No.
Thank you, Scott. Can we get, please, Exhibit 4-5? Ma'am, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
What is it?
It's the operating agreement for KouriRichins Realty dated June 7th, 2021. And this is from Excel and Mr. Ige in response to a prosecution subpoena.
Your Honor, the state moves Exhibit 4-5 into evidence.
Same objections.
4-5 is admitted.
Your Honor, before we publish, well,
My apologies.
that page doesn't matter.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that, Scott, can you scroll down 1 page? 2 pages? 3 pages? 4 pages? Your Honor, stop there. Article 4 is that's the relevancy.
Okay. I may be missing a nuance here. Ms. Nestor, anything, folks, I apologize. In an abundance of caution, please approach the bench for a moment.
All right. Well, while the court is talking amongst itself, we'll just take a little break here. It's now 12:26. The Texas Supreme Court is still not live for whatever reason that is. I can see that my stream is now working on Twitch and on Kick, so we can have lives over there, which is great. Which is why I wanted to run this test today. I'm gonna have to go and feed my animals and do a few things for the rest of the day, for today, and I'll have to come back on later or whenever the Texas Supreme Court decides to actually show its live stream from today, we will come back and show that. So just wanted to make sure I had this set up correctly and make sure it works. I've been trying to get over there and get that growing as well. I mean, YouTube has made it so hard for your little channels to actually get monetized, etc. It really has been. It's been hard. And then you have bots running the copyright. So it's just, like there's just a lot of issues over here. So I thought, well, let me just try some Twitch and some Kick and see if I can't get something going over there. I mean, I love my YouTube chat. I love my friends that have come onto YouTube. I love being moderators on other people's channels. I just think I need to make sure that I get that up and going as well. So this trial has lots of ups and downs. And I can say this, KouriRichins is a liar. She should have always been charged with federal bank fraud, from what you can see right here by these documents, that she participated in fraud for a long time in her real estate business. I feel sorry for her children. She's basically a monster in disguise, to be honest with you. She's sitting over there with her hair in a bun, like she's all sweet. No, you're a monster. Absolutely. Here, let's keep going for just a little bit longer. At 12:45, I have to get off here and go feed my babies and get my day going. So that's how long I can hang out with y'all this morning. So good to see you. Whoever stops in, thank you. If you get a chance, please hit that like button on your way in, on your way out. Please leave a comment if you got comments. And again, as always, I appreciate seeing you guys. Love visiting with you guys. Thank you for putting up with my testing of my other two streams today. I appreciate it. This lady's like, oh, Lord, I'm telling the truth, and they don't like it.
Publish, Your Honor.
Now.
Actually, Scott, can you bring us back to the front?
Go ahead, Mr. Blood.
Ms. Carrington, what is this document?
This is the operating agreement of KouriRichins Realty, dated June 7th, 2021. And this was provided by Excel Financial and David Ige in response to a prosecution subpoena.
Scott, if you could scroll down, please, to Article.
Yes, Scott,
4.
please scroll down.
Thank you. Scott, if you could bring up 5-61, please. Ma'am, do you recognize this document?
Oh, yes, she
Yes.
recognizes it.
What is it?
It is the America First Credit Union statement for KouriRichins, the account 5244 for September 2021 that was sent by Excel Financial and Mr. Ige in response to a subpoena from the prosecution.
Your Honor, the state moves to admit 5-61.
Same objections.
5-61 is admitted.
And what information does that present?
It's an America First Credit Union statement. It says KouriRichins in the header for September 2021 for the personal account 5244. And in the summary section, those three accounts collectively at the end of September were $169,442.28.
Did you attempt to verify this statement?
I did.
Scott, can you bring up 5-35B? Ma'am, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
What is it?
This is the America First Credit Union statement for KouriRichins, her account 5244 for October 2021. This came directly from the credit union. And then if you look in the, I'm sorry. getting ahead of myself. This came from, in response to a subpoena from the prosecution.
State moves to admit 5-35B.
Same objections.
5-35B is admitted.
Scott 5-32D. Ma'am, do you recognize this document?
This is the America First Credit Union statement from the credit union of C&E Stonemasonry, account 7664 in September 2001, to the credit union in response to a prosecution subpoena.
State moves to admit 5-32D.
Same objections.
5-32D is admitted.
Scott, if you could zoom in. Ma'am, what does this present?
September 2021. The three accounts collectively were $169,442.28.
Thank you. Scott, can you bring up 5-62? Scott, can you bring up can you take 562 down? Can you bring up 5-29D? Split screened with 5-29C. Ma'am, do these documents follow the same pattern we've just discussed?
Yes, they do.
Your Honor, the state moves 562D, 529D, and 529C into evidence.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Was it 562 or 562D?
I don't know
It's
what
just 562.
Would
I
you
don't
like
know.
to see that again, Ms. Nestor?
Yes. So same objections to 529C and 529D. I don't remember seeing 562. So if we could just put that up for a second. Same objections.
Okay. 5-62 and 5-29D and -29C are admitted.
Okay, Your Honor, we're not going to publish them. I
Understood.
think everybody understands.
Okay.
I'm going to bring up another set of 3. Scott, if you could start with 524.
Would you pause for 1 second? Do you need a moment? Do you need any clarification? Correct. Correct. Okay. Would you say the number again?
5-24.
The witness has it. At least I think you do.
I do have.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm tracking wrong. I'm tracking the wrong exhibit number, Your Honor. I'm sorry. Hold on.
That's right.
That's not what's on my. Okay. Hold on. I had a screen problem.
Do we need to do something to help you?
No, I think we're good now.
Okay. The page that I'm seeing and the witness is seeing have a sticker on it. Can we go back to page 1 so I can make sure? 5-24, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And I apologize, Scott. I go back to wherever Mr. Bloodworth wanted you to be.
That's page 149. So, Scott, can you please bring up 5-29E?